Hey designers, today we are going to take a look at how to design our first F1 car. We're going to start by doing some sketching in 2D, and then we'll use that to extrude into a 3D car. The first part you know how to do, we're going to go to new sketch, and I'm going to sketch on the bottom plane, on the XY plane, click on that, and that's going to start our sketch. I'm going to start with a rectangle just to outline the very outline or the shape of our car. So I'm going to go to create, and I'm going to use a center rectangle. Now the reason I'm doing that instead of a regular 2-point rectangle is I'm going to use some mirroring and some symmetry to make our life a little bit easier. So center rectangle, I'm going to start in the origin. I'm going to type in my dimensions. So the maximum width of my car will be 65 millimeters, and the maximum length I'm going to put as 210 millimeters. Use an enter to confirm those dimensions. So this represents the maximum size of my car. So whenever you draw and add stuff, you have to stay within these dimensions. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out some blocks where my wheels are going to go. I'm going to show you a photo of the car so you can see what we're going for. It's going to create some space for the front and the back wheels. So I'll start with the back wheels. I'm going to use my rectangle tool, just a regular 2-point rectangle. And for the back wheels, I'm going to start in this corner, and then I could, again, just kind of estimate or guess how big it is, but I'm going to use numbers to type in the correct size. So I'm going to go for 20 millimeters this way, and then a length of 40 millimeters. And enter to confirm, and that's where I'm going to cut out my wheels. Now you'll see this is still here. I'm going to delete that in a little bit, but instead of redrawing this on the bottom, I'm going to use symmetry. I'm going to go to create, I'm going to select mirror, and first of all it's asking me which objects do you want to mirror. Well, I want to mirror this line and this line, and my mirror line is going to be this line here. Now I can't see it because my origin is hidden, so I'm going to show my origin by clicking on the eyeball next to it. I can see my red line. I'm going to click on it to select it, and then you'll see automatically it's already mirrored it. If I'm happy with that, I'm going to click OK, and I have the exact same thing on the bottom. And you'll see in a few minutes why that's actually a good thing to do instead of just drawing it again. So for now, I'm going to hide my origin. I don't need it, and I'm going to cut out my front piece. So again, regular rectangle. I'm going to place it approximately where I think it's going to go. It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. The dimensions will be the same. So I'm going to have 20 millimeters this way, 40 millimeters this way, enter, and I'm going to mirror again. So create, mirror, and this time I'm going to mirror 3 lines. So 1, 2, 3. My mirror line again, you have to use origin like this, and there it is. I'm going to hit OK. Now here's a reason why it's a good thing to mirror stuff. You'll see when I move the top one, the bottom one's going to move with it, so it's always going to be perfectly symmetrical. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my sketch dimension to make sure the space between this cutout and the front of my car is exactly 40 millimeters. And you'll see once I do that, see the bottom one moved as well. So that is part 1 of my sketch. The last thing I'm going to do to complete this is I want to cut out these extra lines, because I don't need this part and these parts. So I'm going to use my snipping tool or the trim tool. So just click on the trim tool, and you're going to click on the line you want to trim. You have to do it 2 times because there's 2 rectangles on top of each other. Same thing in the back here. Snip, snip. And there you go. And then the bottom part, you only have to do it once because remember we only mirrored these 2 lines. There we go. Snip that one. You can ignore these warnings. They have to do with your sketch dimensions, constraints, so just ignore those. And then you'll see the basic shape of our car is starting to come together. If you want to kind of see what it looks like without the dimensions, you can unclick it in your sketch palette, get rid of dimensions and constraints. So that is the basic shape we have right now. I'm going to hide my origin, see it a little bit more. So that's what I'm going to work with. So that is part 1 of my sketch. I'm going to turn back on my dimensions and constraints, and I'm going to start adding some features to make it look more like an actual car.